And welcome into Meet the Rams Home Run Alley as we have the 2023 season preview, and we're sitting down with head coach of the Texas Wesleyan Rams, Bobby Garza. Bobby, how you doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Well, we're glad to start off the season. We're just a few days away from that happening. Let's go ahead and start off and talk about, there's a lot of thoughts going into the season, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces going in, and friends and family that are excited. What thoughts do you have going into the season?
Yeah, it should be a good year. We've brought a lot of new players in. We have a lot of returning players as well. We have players from all over the country, actually all over the world, players from Aruba, the Dominican Republic, Boston, Massachusetts, Brooklyn, New York, California, Oklahoma. I mean, the list goes on. So we're really excited about this group that we have united together, and we're going to play hard. We're going to put out a good product at Sycamore Park, and we're hoping to have a good season this year.
Did it feel like it was a long off season for y'all, just trying to get back to right now to where you were, because you ended in May and now we're trying to get back? What was that focus like, trying to get back in the off season? Was it more of a focus towards your pitching or your offense?
Yeah, I think it was a focus all around of not just pitching or offense, but all aspects of the game, pitching, defense, and offense as well. So we really wanted to get back to basics. That was our focus. We wanted to really dive in with our hitters about how do we move the runner over and what exactly is good and what exactly is bad. You know, hitting the ground ball to the second baseman with 2 strikes will move the runner over. However, as offensive people and as hitters, we want to drive the ball and hit it as hard as we can. So if we crush a 2-strike pitch to the right fielder, there's a chance we get doubled up. So we really wanted to dive into the importance of execution from an offensive standpoint. Coach Shopik's done a phenomenal job with our pitchers and his philosophy and what he's done since taking over our pitching staff, and we've broken so many records, school records under his leadership. So he's really dove into establishing who we are, what our DNA is as a pitching staff, and what our focuses are. You know, try to get the leadoff guy out of every inning and work to get the first 2 out of 3 pitches to be strikes, and to do that in an efficient way. And then obviously on the defensive side, just taking care of the baseball, of getting back to basics and understanding how the feet work. And one of the things that we've talked about with our first basemen is really learning how the feet work from the infielders and the positioning and when they field the ground balls, and where they field them and their movements and how it affects the throw, and to really anticipate when there's going to be a possible of an errant throw, and when to come off the bag and knock it down, or when to take chances and really glove the ball and try to make a spectacular play for an out.
Yeah, there's so much geared towards this season overall, and you mentioned your coaching staff, especially Kelly Shopik. We'll get to them in just a second, but now we go into this weekend preview. We talk about Houston Tillotson, 3-1 last year overall in that series. You're 8-1 overall career, overall playing them. What are your keys going into this series against this team?
Sure. Well, we have 3 main keys that we've been working on, really, is to establish the strike zone, both offensively and on the mound. We want to stay, as hitters, we want to stay within the strike zone. We know if we can swing at strikes, we can be patient and disciplined at the plate. We can put ourselves in positions to drive the ball and to have some extra base hits and create runs, but also take some walks, take what's given to us, and then create havoc on the base pass. So that's important, that we're able to stay within the strike zone as an offense, but also on the pitching side as well. If our pitchers can stay in the strike zone and command the strike zone and expand the strike zone when they want to, that'll allow them to take a little pressure off of executing every single time and allow our defense to really go to work. And the other aspect of this weekend that we're really focusing on is taking care of the baseball. We want to make sure that we throw the baseball where we want it, and when we need to redirect the ball, we're able to do that at will. So those are the 3 keys: taking care of the baseball and then managing the strike zone, both offensively and pitching as well.
We told you we were going to take a step aside from players, now going to coaches. You have your coaching staff with Miles Durham, Kelly Shopik, and yourself. Talk about the impact that you and your coaching staff have going into this season.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have Kelly Shopik, Miles Durham, and then CT, Colin Taylor, as our director of baseball operations. And I think Kelly having a long career in Major League Baseball brings instant credibility. So he brings a level of professionalism that it's important for our players to see. By the way he goes about his business, his preparation for the game, talks about his preparation when he was in the big league. So it's important that our players see that. They see what it looks like. And that's key for us. Not only do we want to talk about it, but we also want to walk it. And we want to show our players what it looks like. And he's done a phenomenal job with our pitching staff, and he's done a phenomenal job with our catchers. And then with Miles Durham, who's now our hitting coach, and he works with our infielders as well. So we're very fortunate to have Miles and Laura be a part of our baseball program. Miles played in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization for a long period of time. Stayed around and coached with the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. So he also brings instant credibility, but he also brings comfort knowing that I've been able to relinquish the hitters, the offense, and give it to Miles, and I feel very comfortable. I feel very optimistic about our offense, and I know he's going to do a good job. And then CT, people don't know a lot about Colin Taylor's story, but he came in as a freshman and redshirted his first year, and then had some injuries that kept him into the season. He worked really hard to get back on the field, and then he had another injury. So, his credibility in being able to get knocked down and get back up and put his work gloves on and strap up the work boots and get back to work, it shows that there's proof in the pudding, not just from the coaching standpoint, but also from a former player standpoint that some of these guys played with him. So we're very thankful. I actually told them yesterday at lunch how thankful I was to have them here, and it seems like every week I find myself telling them thank you for the job that they're doing and for the work that they're putting on, because they definitely, all three of them, make my job a lot easier.
I'm sure with that major league pedigree, it helps keep a lot of these guys at ease whenever they're going out there and practicing, going out there on the field and playing. And we talk about one of the things that you and I have discussed is the Rams family. I know that's a true tradition. Talking about looking at these guys, how they've grown throughout the offseason now going into the season, what are some of the qualities that you've seen on and off the field that describe family for these guys?
Wow, that's a good question. One of the first things that we talked about in August when we met as a group is rule number one is you got to be a good teammate. And I think we can all agree that being a good teammate is important. Creating an environment as a coaching staff, we've created this environment that we want our players to abide by. And these are ideas and thoughts that we won't veer from, right? They're the absolutes. It's part of our DNA here at Texas Wesleyan. And then within that environment, our players create the culture. Like I said earlier, we've got players from Aruba, from Boston, from New York, from California, from the DR, from Puerto Rico, right? So we have these players from all over the world come together with different cultures and different backgrounds, and they create their own culture. And when we're able to merge the environment and the culture together, the culture that they create, then we know we'll have a cohesive group. We'll have a team that has unity, camaraderie, and really this group reminds me of a lot of the 2017 group that won 40, I think they won 40-something odd games, and they were really a good group. They came together ready to work. They just had this aura about them that you just kind of sat back and watched them go. And we see a lot of the 17 team in this year's team, so we're really excited about this group and to get out there this weekend.
There's a winning mentality when I hear you talk about basically everybody on this team. Now, yourself entering your 6th season as the head coach for the Rams, talk briefly about what this team overall means to you.
Wow, I'll try not to get emotional about this because, when we took over in early March of 2018, when Kelly and I took over, it's been a roller coaster ever since. 18 was kind of a weird transition. Kelly and I took over about a quarter of the way into the season. And then in 2019, we had our first normal year, right? It was our normal year, and I think we won 46 ball games. We went deep into an opening round. We were really close to going to Lewiston. And then 2020 hit with COVID, and it shut everything down. And then in 21, there was a lot of policies and procedures that we had to abide by. So it affected a lot of our season, and we didn't have a normal season. And then in 22, it was like, okay, we're back to normal. Let's get back to work. Let's have another year. And sure enough, we were affected again. We went a period of time where we were limited on our pitchers, and we had to make a decision as a group. Do we continue to go? Do we continue to play? Do we continue to put our foot forward? Or do we cancel these games? And we didn't want to do that. So now here we are in 2023, and we've really only had one real season. So we're very excited about this group. One of the things that my wife and I talked about in 2018 when we were offered this position is we talked about how we wanted to impact lives through the game of baseball and not have impact baseball through the players, because we brought in quality players, because we were winning. We wanted to impact lives through the game of baseball, and we also wanted to provide an environment where these players could come to us and communicate with us, talk to us about life, and really grow. So that was important, and as long as we continue to have that as our main focus, then we're going to have success. Now, don't get me wrong, we want to win. Right, and we're going to win, and we want to win, but winning's not the first and foremost of our program. So, we consider Fort Worth our home. We're proud to wear the navy and gold. We're proud to wear the Ram logo, and this is family for us. This really is family, and the one thing that we really do within our program is we don't just talk about it; we walk it out, and our players know that when we say we love you, we mean it, and our players know that if you're going to call each other brothers, you better treat them like brothers. So it's important that we walk it out and we show it, and we're just so thankful to be here.
The Rams family is one that we are going to meet very often this season. We hope to continue this whole Meet the Rams episode where we can go not just a season preview, but more of a weekend preview as well. So, Coach, do you have anything else to say before we head off? We're really excited about this group. It's been really good to see this group come together. We're hoping to have a great season this year, and it's been really good seeing some of the alumni come out. Recently we have Johnny Isom that came out, who's arguably one of the better players that has ever come out of here. Jerry Gilbreth was here a few days ago. We've had some former coaches, Craig Sumbler, Luke Jones, that came back out as well, and another former player, Joel Claprod, was out here. So it's been really good just kind of uniting the whole Texas Wesleyan baseball community, alumni, family, and friends, and just to really get together again in the spring, and we're back on the field and back to baseball. Hey, we can't wait for it. That's the season preview. We will go ahead and get into the weekend preview, and we'll try to get weekend previews every week going into the games. But for now, this is Meet the Rams, Home Run Alley. Season's coming up.